Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every soul's journey when comfort begins to feel like captivity, when the familiar starts to suffocate what God placed within you. That unease you feel isn't a sign that you've lost your way. It's heaven whispering, it's time to move. God is not punishing you by shifting your surroundings. He is positioning you for alignment. A land that matches the rhythm of your spirit. Discomfort is often heaven's first whisper that your current chapter is closing. When your heart starts to feel restless, when the things that once excited you now feel strangely empty, it's not because you've failed or fallen behind. It's because your spirit has begun to outgrow the environment it once thrived in. God uses discomfort as a gentle yet undeniable signal that your season is shifting. You can sense it in your conversations, in your surroundings, even in your ambitions. The same doors that once opened easily now resist. The same paths that once felt clear now seem blocked. That tension isn't random. It's a divine indicator that you're being prepared for movement. God never allows his children to remain in places that no longer nurture their growth. He stirs what's familiar until you can no longer settle there. The comfort zone that once kept you safe can quickly become a cage that holds you back. It's in that tension that faith is born. The kind of faith that makes you pack up, step out, and trust that the next land has already been marked with your name. Discomfort doesn't mean you're losing your way. It means God is aligning you with his. Every time he makes you uneasy, he's simply saying, "You've stayed here long enough." What you're feeling right now isn't confusion. It's calling. Let it, it's leading you to the place where your spirit will finally breathe again. Before God ushers you into a new season, he will always begin by creating distance from what no longer serves your destiny. Separation is not punishment, it is preparation. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is realizing that not everyone or everything can go with you. God will quietly begin to remove certain people, habits, and attachments from your life. Not because they were bad, but because they've completed their purpose in your story. It may feel like loss, but it's really alignment. When he calls you higher, he also calls you to travel lighter. You cannot carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's promise. Every divine elevation requires a divine separation. What feels like rejection is often God's redirection. The silence, the closed doors, the people who suddenly fade away. All of it is heaven's way of clearing your path. You see, before a tree grows taller, its roots must first be cut free from the rocks beneath it. The same is true for your spirit. God will remove the anchors holding you to old patterns so that you can finally move freely into purpose. The pruning process is never comfortable, but it's always necessary. In the moment, it hurts. In hindsight, it heals. You may not understand why things are changing, but one day you'll look back and realize that every separation was a setup. A sacred act of love that positioned you exactly where you were meant to be. Alignment always begins with obedience. The land God is calling you to will not make sense through human reasoning. It will only make sense through faith. Obedience is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Often, God will ask you to move without showing you the full map. He will give you just enough light for the next step, not the whole path, because he wants trust, not control. True obedience requires surrender, letting go of your timeline, your understanding, and your need to figure everything out. When you follow divine instruction, even when it contradicts logic, you invite miracles into motion. What looks uncertain to you is already secure in His plan. Every act of obedience opens a door you didn't even know existed. The people who walk in divine alignment are not the ones who know the most. They are the ones who obey the quickest. God is not testing your ability to understand Him. He's testing your willingness to follow Him. The blessing is not just in reaching the promised land, it's in the trust you build along the way. Every time you say, yes, to God, you realign your heart with His will and draw closer to your true purpose. The place He's taking you may not feel familiar, but your spirit will recognize it instantly. Obedience might look costly now, but disobedience always costs more later. Step forward, even when it doesn't make sense. Your faith will reveal the way. When God calls you to move, He never sends you without provision. Every resource, opportunity, and connection you will need has already been prepared in the land He's leading you to. The challenge is that you rarely see it until you take the first step. God's provision isn't stored in your comfort zone. It's waiting in the place of your purpose. Many people hesitate because they want evidence before obedience, but that's not how faith works. God doesn't show you everything in advance because He wants you to trust that His word is enough. When He says, go, the provision is already in motion. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. It will meet you on the path of obedience. Just like the manna in the wilderness, the supply comes daily and precisely where He sends you. You won't see it until you move. The people, opportunities, and blessings connected to your destiny are not found in the land of comfort. They're in the place where your faith takes you. What you're praying for is already waiting on the other side of your obedience. God doesn't bless plans. He blesses positions. The position of trust, surrender, and movement. When you arrive in the land He's promised, you'll realize you were never walking toward lack. You were walking toward abundance that had been waiting for you all along. The provision was never missing. It was simply positioned in your purpose. You cannot carry an old version of yourself into a new season. Growth requires transformation, and transformation demands release. When God begins to move you toward a higher purpose, He will often strip away the attitudes, fears, and habits that no longer serve who you are becoming. The old season may have shaped you, but it cannot sustain you. What once protected you might now be limiting you. God allows certain doors to close, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the expansion ahead. Isolation often becomes the training ground for elevation. In those quiet, hidden moments, God rewires your vision, renews your strength, and refines your heart. You may feel forgotten, but you are actually being formed. The silence is sacred. It's where He develops the maturity needed for your next level. Many resist this stage because it feels like loss. But in reality, it's the shedding of what cannot survive in the new environment. The habits that once helped you cope will not help you conquer. God doesn't just want to take you to a new place. He wants to make you into a new person. Every pause, every delay, every lonely night is shaping you for what's coming. You are not being buried, you are being planted. The old version of you must fade so the new one can flourish. The next season demands your evolution, not your explanation. Let the old fall away, because what's ahead requires your renewed, refined, and reborn self. When God moves you, it's not for the approval of others. It's for the alignment of your purpose. Many will not understand why you've changed, why you no longer fit in familiar spaces, or why your focus has shifted. But divine movement isn't meant to be explained, it's meant to be obeyed. God will take you through seasons where He hides your progress from people who once defined your worth. In those moments, you must remember that your validation doesn't come from visibility. It comes from obedience. The right environment will not question your transformation. It will recognize it. You were never meant to stay where your spirit is misunderstood. God is leading you to a place that receives you, not merely tolerates you. Stop waiting for applause from those who can't discern your growth. Some people can only celebrate who you were, not who you're becoming. When He moves you, He's not trying to prove anything through you. He's trying to fulfill something in you. This shift isn't about status, it's about spiritual synchronization. A divine alignment where your purpose, peace, and passion finally connect. You'll know you've arrived when striving stops and peace settles in. God's plan doesn't require the approval of the crowd. It only requires the yes of your heart. Where He's taking you, your spirit will not have to fight to belong. It will simply feel at home. That's when you'll know you are finally in the land that aligns with your spirit. So, when God begins to shift the ground beneath your feet, don't cling to what's fading. Trust what's forming. You are not being displaced. You are being divinely positioned. The land He's leading you to won't just hold your body. It will honor your spirit. Walk forward, your alignment is waiting.